Hi, welcome to Organizational Behavior, MBA592 for the summer 2019. This is your instructor, Professor Nugent. I am going to be organizing and facilitating and teaching this course for you for the next 6 weeks. This video is going to help you understand how this class is organized and your responsibilities as a student. So I set up announcements to help you through the course. Each week, let's just run through the announcements. Each week, you're going to be reading assigned chapters, watching my lecture videos, completing discussion board questions, and working on homework manager quizzes and assignments. So, of course, the first thing to do is to watch this video. That's what this message is about. And I have my own YouTube channel where I've organized all the videos in a playlist. So it would make sense to subscribe to the YouTube channel and the playlist. So that way, if I do add anything to it or have any announcements, video announcements, I'll place that there and you'll get a notification. Now, the first thing I want to go over is the homework manager. So the homework manager is set up, and we have a course ID. And the course ID is unique to this class. So if you follow these instructions, you can sign up for the homework manager. And what's nice about the homework manager is that it comes with the textbook. So you get the homework manager and the textbook together for a very reasonable cost. So if you press this button up here, text plus homework manager, it'll automatically bring you to the site where you can order it. And for the homework manager and e-text, it's $99 and you can buy access here. And then the further instructions will ensue about how to register. And the important thing is that you need the course ID to link your account up to my class. Okay, the next announcement I have is the course overview. So this is going to describe what chapters we're working on each week, what lectures to watch, what homework is going to be due. So you can see I have everything planned out all the way to week 6. So you have a good idea of what chapters, if you want to read ahead or watch some videos, lectures ahead. I also linked the direct links to the videos for those weeks as well. Now, under announcements, I do talk about the first paper, which is going to be due July 28th at 11:30 p.m. It's worth 200 points. So it's called the CEO profile paper. That's the first paper. Well, the second paper is going to be due in August, and that's going to be the organizational culture paper. So these are two small papers where you're going to write about the first one is going to be about the CEO profile. And it's a good idea to pick a CEO from somebody that I would know, like from a public company, and make it easy on yourself. Find a CEO or president or head of a company that has a lot of material written about them, so it's easy to put the paper together. Now, the organization culture paper is a paper more about a company's organization, not necessarily a person. And there's going to be more, if you look under assignments, there's much more details about what I would like you to write about. But it's very important if you're writing as a graduate student to use a reference system. To cite your papers properly. So I give you a lot of web links here that you can learn about how to cite properly. So if you're going to quote a fact, a statement, you need to back it up with a source and a reference list. Here is my grading rubrics for the paper, so you should read over this to see how I'm going to grade 5 different elements of your paper. Okay. All right, so let's just go to the menu path. So those are the announcements so far, and I frequently update them, and usually when I do update an announcement, I email a copy out to all students. So let's go to the first menu tab here, Syllabus. Okay, so here is the syllabus, and in the syllabus, I go over what the course is about. I start out with a textbook and the course ID where you can purchase. This is what's called an asynchronous class, meaning that you're going to work on it at the time of day that's best for you. There's no direct meeting time where we're going to get together at a certain time and have a live session. There's no in-class tests. Everything is 100% online. Now, so I would encourage you to read over the course description, the objectives, our learning objectives for the course, how we're going to accomplish the learning objectives, the course time, my office hours, and the grading. So the grading is, there's 2 papers. Each of them are 200 points. The discussion boards are 400 points. The homework manager quizzes are 700, and the homework manager assignments are 500 for a total of 2,000 points. And on all the grades will be eventually placed on the homework manager. And the homework manager will have a percentile score that averages all of these grading elements together, and that percentile would translate into a grade. Or you could divide your score by 20 if you're counting the total points. Okay, so the discussion boards we're going to go over separately, and so the organizational culture report profile. So you're going to select a company, and I want you to select a different company than the company that is associated with the CEO profile paper that you had done earlier. So the organizational culture paper, I want you to describe the culture of the organization. What are some signs of this culture, some evidence of this culture? What caused the organization to have this culture? What's the effect of the culture on the organization, its employees, on society, on its customers? And can the culture be changed? So that's going to be the one paper. The other paper will be the CEO profile report. So it could be CEO or president, and you're going to profile, somebody like Steve Jobs or Schultz from Starbucks, or trying to think of the guy's name. Musk from Tesla. Somebody who's a big personality. It has a lot of books written about them. That like a Bill Gates, that you're going to kind of talk about their background, their leadership qualities, their values, their philosophy, their strengths and weaknesses. So it should be a fun paper to write. What I don't want you to do is, please don't write a paper about your boss or the CEO or president of the company you're working for. That could be a private company. I've had students try this before. It usually does not work out well. Okay. Now, and again, here's the weekly schedule, which I posted on announcements, and some additional information, how I grade the paper. A lot of this is also posted on announcements. So take your time to read over the syllabus completely. I'm just introducing it here. It isn't meant for me to read over at this point. So let's move to the text in the homework manager. So you click on this button, and like I showed you before, I'll show you how to buy access. And once you buy access, you want to go into My Assignments. So in My Assignments, the first assignment is a gradable assignment called Getting Started with My Management Lab, which will go over the basics of My Management Lab and give you an idea of how this works. There are different types of assignments there's basically 2, homework and quizzes. Now, the key to doing well in the homework is to actually read the chapter before you start the homework, because a lot of the homeworks have reference material that's embedded in the chapter. So if you don't know what the chapter is outlining or suggesting as far as way things should be done, you may not select the right choices in some of the assignments. Now, the assignments are fun, so we click on an assignment, and this is chapter 1, what is organizational behavior? So, you have to disable pop-up, you have to enable pop-ups or disable your pop-up blocker so you get these assignments to come in. And this one is going to ask you questions about different elements from the chapter that you're going to answer, and this one could be, so you say that you were unsure and correct, so this gives you some feedback. So this, this is, directly tied to the chapter. Some of the homework could be a video. So you might have to watch a video. So you click on question 1, and then the video link will come up within the question. Here's the video link. You see a little film roll here. You click on the video. And again, you have to have your pop-up blocker disabled so these pop-ups can come up. And if you have any problems with the technology, you can go to customer support. They're pretty good at helping you set up the technology. So you watch this video clip, and then you're going to answer questions about the video. And as you move through, I think I give you get a couple of tries, and then if you get it wrong, you will lose the points for the question, move on to the next question for this particular type of assignment. Okay, so let's leave that. And then the next assignment would be a quiz. So at the end of each chapter, it's like a test. So you have one chance to do the quizzes, and you get one attempt, and there's 25 possible points. So it's just multiple choice questions here that you go through. And again, you need to read a chapter to really understand what you're doing. And when you're done with all the questions, you hit submit, and you get your score. Then we also have a personal assessment. So this is a multicultural awareness scale. So this is another thing reflected in what we're learning in the chapter. And here, you're going to read some information, and then you're going to put some information about yourself if you want to, and then you will go into the multicultural wellness scale. So this is like some personal inventory assessments where it helps you go through some ideas and concepts as reflected upon your own beliefs in your own particular situation. So it's pretty fun. And then they have some mini sims in here, and a mini sim is going to walk you through a scenario. And again, with these mini sims, they're a fun type of scenario here that you're going to walk through, and you're going to read the scenario, and then it's going to ask you some questions about the scenario. So let's click through here. Okay, so it's going to ask you some questions about it. And again, when you answer the questions and submit, you're going to be scored on that. And if you haven't read the chapter before you do the mini sims, you're not going to really know exactly what the answers are really closely tied to what the reading material is for each of the homeworks. Now, be aware of the homework dates, because I'm putting them due right now. They're all due. I'm giving you like a wide range of time to do the homework. So right now they're all due at the end of the semester. But if you wait to the end of the semester to complete these 62 assignments, you definitely will not have time, and there will be no late assignments accepted. So make sure you do. I suggest doing them on a weekly schedule. You can even work ahead or get started early. And you want to make sure that you don't miss any of these assignments, because I will not accept any late assignments. So if you do have things coming up in the summer, big work issues, deadlines, a marriage, going to a wedding or your wedding, or having a child, or you're just the type of person that misses deadlines or has internet issues or some problems come up here or there, make sure you do your work early. If you already know that you've had problems in the past getting things done on time, other professors might accept late assignments, but I'm very busy in the summer. I'm teaching a couple of courses. I cannot accept late assignments for anybody. So do your work early, especially if you're prone to having issues at the last minute. And definitely don't wait to the last week to do all the homework. You will not be able to complete it. Okay, so that's the homework manager. And there's no exams for the test. There's just quizzes. So there's no midterm or final exam. There's just quizzes. The PowerPoints for the textbook and the lectures are all backed up here. And if we go to assignments, actually, before we go over the homework, I did create a new menu button called Class Lectures. So here you can click Class Lectures, and it'll pop you over to the this is the playlist for the class, where I've organized all the videos together in one playlist that you can easily watch and work on. So that way, if the link isn't working like sent in the individual email, or if you just wanted to have an easy place to binge watch the lecture videos, this would be the button to hit to find all the lecture videos for the class. Okay, I already went over PowerPoints. Now back to assignments. Okay, so the first assignment is just reiterating that you need to sign up for the homework manager. Then comes the discussion board, which we're going to talk about separately when I click on the discussion board link. The discussion boards is a 400-point assignment, and I'll talk about that when I actually go to the discussion boards in a minute. And then this is where the papers are. So the first paper is due July 28th at 11 p.m. It's 200 points. And I give you a set of 6 questions to answer to help you write the paper. You can certainly add more detail or more information in the paper besides these 6 questions. And then the second paper will be due on August 11th, and that's the cultural organization culture report. And again, I give you 5 questions, help you get started, give you an idea what to write about. And both papers should be between 1,200 and 1,500 words, which is like 4 to 5 pages, depending. You can certainly write more than that. That's just the minimum I'm putting in there for you. Okay. So that's the 3 assignments, under assignments. And then the grades, I'll initially put the grades in the feedback in on Blackboard, and then I'm going to move them over to the homework manager so you get an idea of your percentile score for the class. Okay, so let's move into discussions. So in discussions, here I have set up for each week, there's 6 discussion boards. So there's 1 per week. Very manageable. The first discussion board is questions about this course. So if you have a question about the course, first thing I would do is click on subscribe. This way you'll get any questions that are set up in this discussion board. You'll get a link to them, an email about them. So if you have a question, you can create a thread. And the question could be, is this course going to be fun? All right, so that could be your question. This is just an example, of course. So then you submit. You can't see it, but there's a submit button here. And now your question has been submitted. So as a faculty member, I'll go in and try to answer these questions. But if you see another student ask a question you already know an answer to, feel free to reply. And my reply here is, yes, very fun class. Okay, I'm going to submit that. So that's just the basics of if you want to ask a question about the class. Now, if you go to a discussion board question, so week 1, we have a discussion board question. So I expect every student to post 1 original response and at least 3 replies. So your original post should be at least 100 to 200 words, if not more. And then your replies to other students should be, hopefully around 100 words. So the first question is, I want you to read this Pew Report research paper here. So download this PDF. And then I want to ask some questions about what you think about it, what you found interesting, what you agree with, what you disagree with. And I usually ask, and I want students to put the original post down on Monday or Tuesday, and then the replies to the post on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, you can work ahead. So if you wanted to work on week 2 and week 3 discussion boards, you can create your original posts. You just have to go back on the week that they're assigned to create your replies to other students. What I don't want to have happen is somebody at 11 p.m. on Friday go in, create the original post, and then put their 3 replies in, giving other students no time to read their post or reply to their replies. So you see how that's an unfair way and not very participating way to work in the discussion board. So when you do the discussion board, you just click on discussion board question here. That's why I wrote click here, because it's not always obvious. You create your thread. And when you create your thread, you put your first and last name. And the main topic of your post. Okay, then you answer the questions or in the body, and you submit your. Okay, so that would be a submit. So as a student, when I reply, you would go in to read other students' posts, and I would ask you that you rate the posts from 1 to 5 stars. I can't rate my own post, but you see what I'm saying? You can rate. Now this is instant feedback, anonymous, that gives other people, like this I would rate 1 or a half a star, and I'm going to reply, this answer is too short. You get no points. again. Okay, so that would be my reply, is that it's a terrible post. So you get the picture. It's pretty easy to create the original post. So then if you create your own thread, you may want to keep an eye on it, on this thread, to see who's replying to it and keep updates on it. Okay, so let me go back to discussions. Right, so that would be week 1. Week 2 is about using social media at work. Week 3 is about motivating employees through perks and benefits. And the world of benefits at work have changed greatly, where a lot of companies are now offering not just free tea and coffee. Some are offering kombucha. Some are allowing you to bring pets in. Some are giving you more flex time. So this is interesting about how that's changing. Week 4, we're going to talk about team experiences. Week 5, we're going to talk about leaders. And week 6, we're going to talk about payroll problems. Okay, so those are discussion boards. And yeah, so it's an important part of the class. And you only have one discussion board to manage a week. So please be generous in your original post and be supportive and generous in rating the 5-star ratings of your other classmates and your replies to them. And if you do see that someone made a post that you don't think is really graduate level organizational behavior worthy type of post, give them 1 or 2 stars. Let them know it's not okay. And that way it also helps me when I see, when I read the post and I see a low star rating on it, I'm going to pay close attention and try to reply back with some suggestions, advice to improve the next post or adding to the current post to round it out better. And that'll be much appreciated. Okay, so then we have tools where you can check your grades, and then we have, let me close it, you don't have a control panel, and library resources. In the library resources, this is where you can go to get some additional information or articles about either your 2 papers, or if you want to post something related to a discussion board question. Okay, so that's the basics of how this class will work. I think I've organized it pretty well, where it's easy to follow and you have a good idea of what assignments you need to complete. So on a weekly basis, you just get into a basic routine where you go in, you read your assigned chapters, you watch my video lectures for that week, you participate in the discussion boards, and you complete the homework manager, quizzes, and assignments. And then for later in the class, you will complete 2 different papers for the course. So I hope you find the course enjoyable. I'm looking forward to working with you on this course, and I'll be talking to you soon. Thank you.